Oh yes, Lord.
We'll get started with Kieron, guys. I'll bring Lockie in.
It's fine, you guys can get started and we can finish before Lockie comes. Come on.
Kieron, just your initial reaction to the result and performance.
Again, I thought it was an entertaining game of cricket, for the fans and the general public. Something that they haven't gotten, for a very long time. So, again, it was entertaining cricket. In terms of, disciplines in the bowling aspect, of things, I thought we were a bit erratic. We were a bit indisciplined. And in international cricket, if you bowl so many no balls and you're so inconsistent with your execution, you're definitely going to end up on the losing side.
You feel like you had enough runs?
You see, again, on this ground, what is enough? A bit small. Again, having them go at the start at over 10, 11s, you want to get a couple of wickets and, put them on the back foot, exactly what we did. But I just thought that, we weren't disciplined enough, to stay in the game, a bit longer and, carry down to the end, because sometimes, you go in at, 12s, 13s comfortable, but when it's crunch time, sometimes the pressure tends to want to take the better of you. And when you look at it coming down to the end, I thought that, a couple less boundaries, we'd have been right in the game.
How are the ribs?
The ribs are fine. You guys battered and bruised me today. That's fine. But I'm here for the fight. If it's one thing, I'm not going to back down. See, Lockie just walked in, so yeah. He bowled, pretty well today. Magnificent spell, by him. Put us on the back foot. We got off to a flyer. So again, these things happen in cricket. Losing a couple of wickets in that, in that sort of momentum definitely wasn't, what we were actually looking for at that point in time.
You seemed quite fired up, emotional. I think there was an LBW decision that you appealed maybe with a bit of emotion, it seemed, at least watching on. Was that maybe a collective frustration, a personal frustration, or maybe just emotion that you were showing?
Maybe a bit of you take it in your perception. I'm not going to say it was. Obviously, I just want them, to be consistent, ask for some consistency. I just thought, again, being a visiting team, some things you expect. So, again, we continue to fight. We will continue for the fight, and hopefully, the fight, we get over the line in the next game and we set up our third match, in the final game.
Kieron, have you ever played in a T20 that's gone that long? 4 hours, 15 minutes again?
I didn't check it. Make me feel like playing another 50-over game there for a minute. But again, when you're actually playing and you're in the heat of the battle, you're not really thinking about the time and how long it's going. We're just thinking about trying to stay in the battle and focusing on what we need to do. So again, it is what it is.
It was a very topsy-turvy game, wasn't it? You guys started strong, Lockie and Tim then had an amazing little spell, then you came in, rain breaks in there, wickets falling early in the chase, then they get there with a few balls to spare in the end. It really had everything, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. You have a lot of things to write about for that game, definitely.
Lockie, 5 wickets for you, but your teammates that had the ball got sort of taken to quite severely. How do you?
Yeah, thanks for this guy. Eden Park's one of those great grounds that we've played quite a lot here, and some days you bowl okay and don't get a lot of luck, and other days you get that luck. But yeah, certainly we have to look at our plans again. Probably a little bit potentially rusty up front. But obviously when it's such a small boundary and a very quick wicket and a good wicket, then you're going to get hurt if you miss. And when you have West Indies side with so much power throughout the whole lineup, they're all looking to hit sixes. So we need to make sure that we go back to our plans, reassess and work out what our plans are going forward.
Do you feel for someone like Hamish being on a day like that, like you say, it's such a fickle format of the game, you get 5 wickets and he's at the other end of the scale, and I'm sure you know what it feels like as well.
100%, yeah. The last game I played in was very similar on my account, going for runs, and that's T20 cricket. I think it's important to understand that you're going to have days like that, and how you bounce back the next game is the key, and also learning what went well tonight, what didn't go well. Obviously we're going to be in Tauranga next game, completely different ground, a day game as well, so hopefully the rain's not a factor, but we're going to have to look at the plans again, work out areas to improve, and that's the awesome part about our Black Caps, is that we continue to look to improve.
And can you explain, I'm not sure if what happened in the first 4 wickets, but we saw after your 5th wicket, some sort of hand gesture?
Yeah, my nan, who I was pretty close with, passed away about a month ago. which was a bit of a shame, and couldn't be back for her funeral, which was a shame. But wearing 26 for her birthday, and she used to nod herself up watching cricket. She absolutely loved following all cricket, but of course the Black Caps. So yeah, it's pretty special to have a good day out with her looking down on us.
Lockie, you mentioned the weather there and the rain. Did that impact you going off a couple of times and coming back on, particularly with those wides?
Look, I think pretty much everyone here is probably, especially Kiwis, have played enough games where we go on and off for rain. It's very important to switch on. But yeah, look, I don't think that that's a case of us not switching on or switching off. We obviously have the team chat before we go out, just like we're starting a game, so I don't think the rain played that bigger. But I think the pitch potentially did change a little bit in those sort of spaces. But yeah, that's just the nature of cricket.
Congrats on the 5, mate. As a bowler, you're at the top of your mark. What's it like when you're staring down? You see Kieron Park standing there with a big blade.
I didn't face him much. I was on the other end. Smart boy.
Conversely, after that lot, conversely, Kieron, what's it like facing, facing up to Lockie Ferguson, 150 k's?
Well, I'll answer first. Yeah, look, I think that when you face these guys, particularly Kieron, who's obviously been very successful over the last few months, winning every competition there is, you're under the pump, and Eden Park tends to get a little bit smaller when great batters come in, and he showed his class today. I thought there was a couple of Yorkers that were only missed by a little bit, and they went a long way into the boundary. So once again, we have to look at our plans. We have to execute better, I think, going forward. But that's pretty cliche, T20, and you have good days and you have bad, but if we continue to look to improve, then we'll be better for it. But you got to tip your hat when a guy plays an innings like that, especially after we got quick wickets, and he settled himself and then had a quick burst at the end.
Yeah, again, for me, when the bowlers have their tails up, you have to try something as a batter. Sometimes, you just have to make one mistake. I thought he bowled pretty well. The rain and the nature of the pitch sort of helped as well. He come in each and every time and, getting that ball to go through. The opening bowlers were a bit on the shorter side, but he changed his length and bowled a bit fuller, and that's why he was a bit successful. So, again, sometimes a daunting task, but again, these are the times that we train for, and these are the situations that we train for as individuals, when your team is in trouble, to try to get them out. So, again, the same way as he said, he'd look at his plans and come back. We definitely have to do that in terms of our bowling aspect of it and trying not to lose wickets, in clusters. These are conversations that we continue to have. But, as cricket goes on, sometimes these things play a part. So, if you look at it, a good game of cricket, as I said, most important, the crowd was entertained, and that's what matters now.
Lockie, was there any particular reason why you had to wait until the 4th over to get a ball?
That's pretty standard for me.
That's pretty standard, yeah?
Yep. I think I've bowled the second over once, and then normally I come, so pretty standard. Obviously, not the biggest swinger of the ball, so we've got pretty good opening bowlers who swing it, so that's sort of the theory there.
And just with you starting with the ball and Jimmy sort of seeing the chase home and then sat on to the end, but you and Jimmy grew up playing cricket just down the road from here at grammar. Does it sort of make you think of how far you've come when you and him are sort of performing, playing together?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. There's 3 grammar boys. That's a high school.
Oh, okay.
3 grammar boys, just up the road. So yeah, exciting that we all sort of played at grammar and played together today. And obviously Nish and me are very good mates, and it's exciting when a guy's been working hard on his batting. And it's the classic in cricket, you don't get a lot of luck, but tonight he batted really well. Hit some nice shots down the fairway, which is good to see his golf's paying off. But no, he batted really nicely, and it's a tough time to bowl if you're missing your Yorker slightly and such short boundaries straight, and he capitalised on that today. So I thought it was good innings by him, but once again, it's a different ground at Tauranga, so I think it's pretty evenly contested series this, so it's very exciting to be a part of.
Well, it's time for the bad boys to swing, isn't it?
What's that, sorry?
It's time for the bad penny boys just to put there, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
But just on you and Jimmy, you've had various different paths to get to, the Black Caps, different formats, different timelines. You say you're close friends, do you sort of feel that bond between him and you when you're in this elite environment, having, known each other way back as teenagers?
Yeah, look, Jimmy was a bit of a big brother to me at high school, and we played a lot of age groups together. But to be fair, I think the Black Caps are a pretty tight bunch of mates, and when anyone does well and wins the game for us, then of course we get around them, and I think that's a big part of our culture, and we try to drive that. But obviously pumped, Sats and Nish, good mates of mine, to bat well at the end there. But yeah, certainly we'll celebrate tonight. It was one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. I was in the changing sheds for our whole batting innings, not sure what to do. But yeah, we have to, there's a lot of improvements that need to be made going into the next game, but that's the nature of T20.
Last question, Clay.
Kieron, can I just ask, Stephen Conway made his debut for New Zealand at number 3 tonight, 40-odd runs. What did you make of him getting the first live look at what he can do?
Look like a decent player. Obviously, it's a positive for New Zealand cricket. Unfortunately for us, he scored runs tonight. Not what we expected, but again, once a guy comes in and get the opportunity to play international cricket, it's always great. I was reading his story, on Cricket Info, coming from South Africa, coming to New Zealand. So again, it's fantastic, the human side of it. Guys looking to play international cricket and sort of make a living and show the world what they can do. So hopefully he continues on in that good reign, but hopefully he doesn't score any more runs in the series for us and against us, and then he can score runs whenever he wants after that.
Thanks very much, guys. Cheers, Dan.
Cheers. Nice.
Yes, man.
Lockie.
No problem.
Cheers, guys. See you in a couple of days.
Cheers to that. We'll see you guys. Thank you. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Cheers. You got this one up on if you want. Thanks, guys. See you in the mouth.